This is an adult channel. In this video, we'll be looking at the USS Enterprise shuttlecraft, Phase 2 concept special issue. It had a crew of 2. Concept was in 1977, and it was designed by the great, legendary Matt Jeffries. And Phase 2, if you're not aware, Phase 2 was a proposed Star Trek TV series taking place in the late 70s as a continuation of the original series. And there's a profile front image there. And there's the Phase 2 Enterprise, which I have that. I should do that. Next. And this was an evolution from the original series Enterprise. As you can see, it's got the elements that made it into the motion picture Enterprise, but it still had a dish on the front. You can see right there where it had the photon torpedoes. But this is about the shuttlecraft, which I don't believe we ever saw anywhere except for in concept drawings. Along with the updated USS Enterprise, the aborted Star Trek Phase 2 would have featured a radically different version of the shuttlecraft. And yes, this is a very, very different design of the shuttlecraft, is it not? The origins of the design for this Phase 2 shuttle, Star Trek was very nearly returned to TV in 1978. If it had done so, the Enterprise may have had a shuttlecraft of a completely new design. I like to read the statements in the margins. The new shuttlecraft had a distinctly different appearance to the shuttle that Jeffries had designed for the original series and Star Trek. And here's a picture of that. You can see that it's leaving the shuttle bay. That's a beautiful picture there. And the shuttlecraft and the USS Enterprise, as they might have looked in orbit above an alien world. Joseph R. Jennings, the art director on Star Trek Phase 2, and his team adapted Matt Jeffries' unused design for War of the Worlds scout ship to become the Enterprise's new shuttlecraft. I did not know that. That's very interesting. And here's the Phase 2 Enterprise again. I would like to get a kit, or I got the file. I should print it in 1/1000 scale to go with my other ones. This is just memories about working with Gene. Jeffries' earliest sketches showed a very narrow, light version of the shuttle or scout craft. His idea was that both sides would roll back to reveal the interior. Oh, interesting. And there's John Poville was eager to advance his career as a writer and was excited to have the opportunity to work with a new version of Star Trek. There's Gene. Gene Roddenberry again. Oh, wow. What a pretty picture. And let's see. Pre-production for Star Trek Phase 2, a new version of Enterprise sets out on a new voyage. Wouldn't mind having a poster of that. And Star Trek: A New Phase, and they talk about the production art. Test footage was shot on the new bridge of the Enterprise, which was still under construction at the time. Cool. You can see that she's got the original uniforms on. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I have never seen that. Check out the bridge. That concept art. Look at that captain's chair. Okay, what we got here? Supporting artists posing in costume for test shots on the Enterprise bridge. Huh. Well, yep, they looked like they were going to keep the uniforms. David Gautreaux was the new Vulcan science officer Zahn in a camera test for his costume and makeup. Harold Livingstone and Gene Roddenberry work on a script for Star Trek Phase 2. And John sits with Robert Weiss, the director of Star Trek, the motion picture. Okay, let's look at this ship. Now, usually the books from Eagle Moss usually have a diagram pointing to all the notable equipment on one of the ships, but this magazine did not have it. But we did learn in the magazine that this was designed for both sides to open up, and it said roll back. I don't know how it would do that. But you can see that there's a very light seam right there. So I'm guessing that the whole door opened up on each side. And check out the bottom there. Definitely some sort of landing apparatus. One huge landing skid. But then here we have these wings. And of course, since we didn't have a diagram, don't know what these rods sticking out are. You can guess at what those are. And then there's vents. The original shuttlecraft had no armament sticking out or anything, so these could be antennae. Here's the front. That looks like some sort of dish, just like on the front of the Enterprise. Deflector dish. Some people think that was a communication dish, but I do believe it on the Enterprise it was a deflector dish. So the red colors, not really sure about that, but I mean, there's the pennant going down the side. Number 9. Some blacked out windows here. And let's look at the rear. There's some sort of vents right there. Don't know what those are at, but we already know that the crew, well, the crew of 2, open it. It said that it opened up on both sides, and it had a crew of 2, but that doesn't mean it couldn't have passengers too. So I would assume that there may be more seats in there for the passengers. It looks like a dart. Very interesting, and it's you know, it just kind of leaves everything else behind. It doesn't resemble the shuttlecraft from the original series at all. It doesn't really resemble the Enterprise much either. This design is like kind of almost out of the blue. It almost reminds me of something from the 50s, where everything was designed to look like a rocket. And you know, I'm bittersweet about Eagle Moss. I'm irritated that they let themselves go out of business. I'm also appreciative. Where else are you going to get this? Where else will you get all of those designs? Well, I'm very appreciative to have this design, um, and I'm going to display it. I've got the Phase 2 Enterprise that I should do a video on it too, if I can find a book to go with it. And maybe we'll sandwich those videos with this one to come next. I'll put it on a stand. The magazine doesn't say how long this is supposed to be, so I can't calculate the scale. It's 5 inches long though. So we can guess at the scale because it's a crew of 2 would be up here. And with the average height of a human being around 6 foot, actually the average height is about 5'10", I can do some calculations. Okay, so I'm guessing that a 6 foot man is going to be about 3/4 of an inch. So if I take 0.75 and divide it into the 5 inches, excuse me, I'm going to come up with about 30 feet. So I'm guessing that this Phase 2 concept shuttle was about 30 feet. And if you do the math with the 5-inch measurement of this model, we come up to 172 scale. 172. That's going to be my guess. So that's what I come up with. 172 scale at 30 feet long. That's a pretty common scale in model building, so it would go with certain models. And there we go. She's on her stand. As you can see, the stand part is in the one side of the one end of the base, and it does have the decal there, and it doesn't show. Wait a minute, it may have shown on there. Yeah, it did. Thankfully, it shows how to put it on there, which not really any other way for it to go anyway, is there? Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you next video.